Got Your Back Pod Stream is powered by Play Alberta. Did you know a local Play Alberta winner scored over $250,000 on Cleopatra 2? From major casino winners every hour to jackpots worth millions, there's never been a better time to sign up. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense. We've got what we want. Sunday morning, USA versus Canada. That's what we all wanted. Let's be honest. We didn't want to see Slovakia against Canada. We want to see the mighty Canadians take on the mighty Americans. And that's what we got. On the back of a 3-2 win from Canada over Finland and then a 6-2 win USA over Slovakia. We had intrigue at the end of the game. A penalty called that should not have been called. It was called. We got a finish great of all time. Going on Twitter, upset about the call. So much to talk about here on the show tonight. The show, as always, is brought to you by our good buddies over at Timber House Developments. If you're thinking of a garden suite, infill development, or a fully custom home, talk to Timber House with a full team of in-house designers and decades of construction experience. They bring your ideas to life, from slides hidden inside kitchen islands to garden suites for aging parents to stunning estate homes and everything in between. Visit timberhouse.ca. Tonight, we've got myself, Scuba Steve. We'll hear later from Masters and Ryan Rashog. Check all their stuff out at tsn.ca. And we have a special guest who had a long nap this afternoon, so he'd be ready. He's looking sexy and dressed up. Jamie McLennan, how are you tonight, big guy?
Not too bad. How you doing?
Good. Pretty fun day, obviously. Olympics are coming to an end, but Scuba Steve, I've been watching a lot of Olympics, actually, and the curling for me. I can't wait to see some of these curling medals coming up as well on top of the Sunday games, Scuba.
Yeah, they've been fun to watch. I love watching curling as well. It's been some stressful games, not nearly as stressful as that game this morning, which we'll talk lots about. But yeah, I'm loving it all. And again, I say it all the time, but only 2 days left. I can't believe it's almost over.
Yeah, News, before we get to the game, I mean, was there any other game you wanted to see than Canada-USA? Like, pick any matchup possible. Was there any other possible matchup you'd rather have seen than these two teams?
No, I mean, I think we've been waiting for this for many years. And I think the second that Connor McDavid scored in the Four Nations face-off last year, everyone was like, okay, let's see what happens in the Olympics. And the U.S. side says didn't have Quinn Hughes. So, they pretty much brought back the same team, and then they've got Quinn Hughes. And the Canadian side is like, okay, we'll nip and tuck our team, see what it looks like. But I think it's still a big blow. And I still believe, I don't know how you guys feel, I think 87 skating out Sunday morning. I really do. I think Crosby's going to find a way to play. Even if he's 50%, I want him on the bench. I want him there. Like, I think he's an inspirational leader. You even heard Tom Wilson talking about how the guys wanted to win this game. They wanted to win for Crosby. Like, that's the crazy thing. So, yeah, you're right, Strud. Like, I think this is what everybody wanted. This is what all North America wanted. I don't know if the people in Europe or people in Finland or whatever, they care. I don't know. I was taking strays. You've been traveling, Struddy. I said on the show yesterday, I don't know if you saw where I said, like, if Team Finland is going to have to win, they're going to have to play like rats. And a Finnish paper picked it up and said that Jamie McLennan says that Finland says they're rats. So then I wake up to a text this morning from Mika Kiprasov with the article, and it says, so Finland people are rats or something like that. I'm like, no, I said that they've got to get underneath your skin. Like, because if you look at it, you know how Finland, they play hard and they get underneath your skin and they chip away at you. That's how they were going to have to play against Team Canada. Yeah. They almost pulled it off today. They almost did, but Canada found a way.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Well, let's get right into it then. The breakdown brought to you by Canadian Brew House. From the first puck drop to the final medal moment, watch the Winter Olympics at the Canadian Brew House. While you're there, grab a Corona bucket on special and enter to win a Team Canada jersey. All right, Noodles. so much to talk about in this game. Let's talk about the start. They came out and there was no Sidney Crosby. You kind of touched on it already. They were going back and forth. I guess Tom Wilson, they found out as they're going over in a cab that they weren't going to play, he wasn't going to play. But Finland, to me, got that first goal, and then they just kind of went into that shell and they sit back. And for those who aren't familiar, it's almost like you're like, we'll give up half the ice. We'll let you get to the red line. And then we're going to have 5 people in that area forcing you to try to do something heroic by yourself because you can't get that speed through the neutral zone. But I mean, Finland had a game plan clearly to try to get on the board early. That goes without saying. But I kind of liked the way that they were playing. And I was like, oh man, this, Canada's getting some chances, but not a lot of great chances up to that point.
Yeah, there was no time and space. And I think Finland was watching the Czech Republic from the game before. And they were basically saying that's how you have to beat Canada, or at least stay in the game, is be aggressive. And the one thing I noticed, Strud, and we'll probably get to it later in the show, but if there is an Achilles heel for Canada, it's their D. Like, I think you got to make them play in their own zone. Outside of Makar and Tays, who are, terrific together, the absence of Morrissey really shows, somebody else who can move the puck out of the zone. I like Theodore, and I think Theodore is a wonderful player, and obviously showed it today. But I thought that's where they're going to get in trouble, is their defensive. We'll call it the depth, because all of them are great players. But I thought a guy like Parayko, can get exposed in a real fast game and a game where you got to advance the puck. So I thought Finland executed their game plan for the first 25 minutes, where they were really smothering Canada. Canada didn't get a lot going. And when they did get something going, UC Saros made a couple big saves. So you're sitting there going, the longer, I said this against the Czechs as well, but the longer this game went on, it favored Team Finland if they were in it. And now Canada had to come from behind. But I thought for the first half of the game, Finland looked fantastic, and Canada looked like they were kind of reeling and trying to force things, and it wasn't happening.
Sam Reinhart didn't play much tonight, but he got, arguably the second most important goal in this game. He got them on the board. And I love that goal. I loved it. That was a what I'd call as a defenseman, a tippable shot coming in from the point. He was shooting for that stick. The puck was going wide. There's no doubt in my mind. He was shooting for that stick, and Reinhart tips it away from, kind of back from where the goaltender Soros was pushing off from. Now, was that intentional? I don't know. I mean, they're pretty skilled players, but I believe that shot was a tippable shot on purpose there, and it gets him on the board. And to me, that's late second period goal was massive noodles for this team.
I think you couldn't go into the third period down 2. I really thought, that's a big hill to climb. But when you look at it, I agree with you, Strud. A lot of times, and if you look at the defensemen, they're always just trying to get the puck down past that initial blocker. The forwards now are taught to get into the lane. So you got to get that puck down. If you look at the angle from behind the net, you're right. That was going 2 feet wide. And Reinhart reached out and brought it back the other way. Saros had no chance on that goal. That was an unreal tip. But the key was to get it past traffic, to get it down, so that worst case scenario, somebody can tip it, or maybe the goaltender, it hits the goalie, and you fight for a rebound, or you force those D to turn and try and defend. I thought it was a fantastic play. And we see D do that all the time now. It's not a big slap shot. It's about getting it down to the front of the net on a tippable play. And Reinhart, unbelievable hands, made it happen. And now in the third period, you're chasing all you need is one goal, and you get some momentum going. So I thought it was really key for that goal near the end of the second for Canada, just for their mentality is like, okay, we can find the back of the net, and we can feel like we can get rewarded for some of the play that they were pushing the pace on.
They were, and the energy changed. They kept coming. Now, Shea Theodore scores one. I think that's, obviously important.
Yeah.
But we got to make our way towards the end of that game. The end of the game, they're pushing. They're trying. Now it's tied. They're going after it. They're trying to make it happen. And we'll get to some of the lines a little bit later. But we got to get to me what was the moment in the game was the call Mikko Makala high sticking on Nathan McKinnon. Now, is it a penalty? So if you didn't see it, what Mikko was, he was kind of reaching up, trying to lift a stick, and it goes up and catches McKinnon in the head, and he throws his head back like he was hit by like a George Foreman punch. And it's, I don't know that the ref really want to call it. He ends up calling it. I think it is a penalty. But do you really want to have a game decided on that call in that moment? I think that's where it kind of gets tricky. So your thoughts on that call, or should have been a non-call, Noodles?
I think it was Eric Furlat that made the call, right? And if you look at
Two
it, like
Canadian refs, by the way.
yeah, two Canadian refs, that was pointed out by Timo Solani on Twitter as well. So the other thing is, in a traditional, if we're just removing emotion, removing the time of the game, all of that, it is a high stick. It touches it. But the way he sold it, I was talking to a few people. I felt like it could have been a high stick and an embellishment penalty, and the ref would have been off. And I think when you look at it, I think both teams would have been fine with that. Now you get some a little extra ice, some 4-on-4. But if you watch it again, it's a late call. I think he hesitated to go, do I really call this right now with 2.5 minutes left? And it's by the letter of the law, it's a high stick. So I get that. And there's going to be a lot of people say you're right. But I think sometimes too, when you're talking about playoff hockey and hockey that, where things really matter, which is a game like this, you never want at the end of the game to be talking about the refs. You want to be talking about the play. You want the players to sort it out. You don't want a bad call or a suspect call, a soft call to give anybody an excuse to point to it and go, oh, there, see this, see that. And I thought there was a couple, Struddy, not just that one. I might have challenged for goaltender interference on the Theodore goal. Again, I don't know, and I'm a former goalie, and I don't know by the letter of the law what goalie interference is. I always say you have to be afforded your net. You have to be afforded your blue paint. Marchand, whether he gets pushed in or not, goes over top of Saros, and then Saros is so quick he's able to recover to back, but I don't think he actually gets set for the shot that he wants or for the save that he wants. So when you're talking about reffing, there was 3 real polarizing plays. There's the Marchand on Saros, and then the Theodore goal. There's the high sticking play, and then there's the offside.
Yeah. And that's where I want to go next. And that's it.
Ahead.
So they score in the power play. And I think, their power play has been really good. Obviously, Crosby out. They put Celebrini in, and they work it around, and the clock's ticking down. It goes from Connor McDavid to the left of the netminder across to McKinnon, kind of shoots off his back shot, finds a tiny little piece of daylight to get it through there. Soros was, if not there, so close to being there. But then all of a sudden you can see they show it on the TV, and you can see McKinnon's like, oh my God, like when he's sitting on the bench and they're calling it. Now, it was an awkward zone entry. There was a lot of Canadian players on the line. It looked like Celebrini was close to going offside, or maybe had gone offside. The reviews I saw, and they showed on TV, Noodles, to me, it looked like it was a tie. Literally looked like it was a tie to me. It looked like the puck was just crossing the same time. There was a blade of Celebrini's skate. Like, if they had turned it over, it would have been really, like, I couldn't, even if it was against Canada, I could not have made that call saying, yes, it's definitely there. So they don't call it. They don't rule it. There's 30 seconds or some 37 seconds left, whatever, 20, whatever it was. And then they go on from there.
Well, Strud, I'm not being a hero. I swear to God, when I was watching it live, I made a mental note going, that was an awkward entry. And I kept thinking to myself, if they score on this, I would be looking hard at it, because McDavid popped there was a body there that he had to get the puck around. So he chipped it kind of laterally. He didn't chip it north south. He kind of chipped it like not east west. It was like northwest type of thing.
Yeah.
And I remember making a note going, oh, that was a weird entry. And anytime,
Yeah.
like as we know, like if I'm calling a game, I'll make a note on something like that, just a mental note going, that was a weird entry. And I'll even say to my producer, going, this might be an offside call or something if there ends up a goal on it. So I made a mental note of it, and I'm not lying, I forgot about it because it's 90 seconds later and the puck's
Yeah.
going around and McDavid's setting up one-timers and all of that. I forgot about it and the goal goes in and I'm more focused of like, okay, how did that go in? It hits Saros's right skate and squeaks between the posts. And then I go, oh my God, I think they're calling the offside. And it was close. But I will say, Celebrini had the presence of mind to drag that right foot just ever so slightly. He delays it, and you can actually see him just like kind of drag his foot. That's what did it for me. And I think they're going tie goes to the player, tie goes to the call that
Yeah.
they made on the ice, which is onside. But man, oh man, there was there's probably forensic audit, videographers in Finland right now trying to break that down, going that was offside because it was that close. And then the minute that it was called onside, you knew it was curtains. Finland wasn't getting anything going after that. But it was
They did it.
big time,
It-
big time. Like, you look at it, those three, the ending of that game became more polarizing, and I'm glad that Canada squeaked through. But, it's, I could see why Timu was upset, and a lot of Finnish fans are upset because they're going, hey, like there was not just one thing, there was probably a combination of three things that they didn't like.
Yeah, it was really incredible. It was so close. It wasn't perfect, but you got the win and you move on against the USA. So lots I want to get to still here, but let's get to our relentless player tonight, brought to you by our good buddies at You Can Use Services. The annual Comedy Nights fundraiser presented by ATS is almost here. There are two great ways to support youth in our community. Grab tickets or a table for one of these unforgettable comedy nights or donate an item or experience to the sign auction. Head to youcancomedy.com and use GYB10 for 10% off your tickets. All right. The leading ice time for anyone on Team Canada was a 19-year-old, Macklin Celebrini. Absolutely incredible. So
26
he played
minutes.
25-53. Connor McDavid was 25-20. Now, to be fair, Connor had more shifts, but obviously, whatever happens, sometimes you get caught out there longer. But this was a number one guy. Other guys who played a lot less, Reinhardt, I think he was down around 8 minutes for Team Canada. Yeah, no, sorry. Sam Reinhardt was 6 minutes of ice time. Brandon Hagel, 7 minutes. Sam Bennett, 10 and a half. Drew Doughty, 7:50. Mark Stone, 14:12. Seth Jarvis, 8:48. Macklin Celebrini, 25:53. Noodles with 8 shots. 8 shots for the big man. This guy, I thought he'd play on the team. I didn't think he'd lead the team in ice time in a semifinal game. Power play, 5-on-5. He's playing with Connor and now right now McKinnon. It is insane what this player is doing at this tournament.
It really is. And it was brought up to me today on our show. There, 4 years from now, it could be McDavid and McKinnon are lucky to play. Not lucky, but hey, are playing with Celebrini. Like it's
Yeah.
Celebrini's line, and those guys are playing with
Yeah.
them instead of Celebrini playing on McDavid's line. Like it's that crazy how good this kid is. He's
Yeah.
really poised. He's just really
Oh,
poised. And I've said this all along, Strud. These young guys that have come into the league, they're not waiting their way in. They
yeah.
believe they belong, and they're not overwhelmed by the situation. And again, maybe this is a conversation for another time, but it leads me to believe that Matthew Schaefer could have played for the team this year, just because
Agreed. Yeah.
you're going. These kids aren't. They're the moment's not too big for them. They're
Yeah.
like, yeah, bring it on. Yeah, I'll play. And that's where Celebrini. Now he's close to generational player. I don't like to throw that word around,
Yeah.
but it's just he's that close to how special the player is, and it speaks to. I still think Canadian hockey's in pretty good shape when you're looking at passing the torch
Yeah.
along. Like you've got 3 or 4, I think, best players on the planet, and then the argument starts at maybe 4 or 5. And again, I'm talking McDavid into McKinnon into McCarr or
Yeah.
however you want to, and then you throw in Celebrini there. But it just, at the end of the day, he's such a special player. And the details of his game at 19 are so impressive. It reminds me of Sidney Crosby. It really does. Because Sidney
Yeah.
Crosby was good at everything. And if he didn't feel like he was good enough at something, he'd work at it until he was dominant at it. And that's,
Yeah.
I think Celebrini has that type of like engine that he wants to be good at
Yeah.
everything. So impressive. And I think John Cooper's done a good job of finding the right mix, the right elements to get out there. And to be honest, in a gold medal game, like you strap the air pack onto those guys, and McDavid's playing 26. He's going to play whatever it takes, right? Celebrini, McKinnon. I think McKinnon has looked banged up. I think that goal will go a lot for his confidence. Not that he doesn't have confidence, but you know what I mean, like the feeling good about your game when you aren't 100% physically. So
Yeah.
I'm
It's
excited for
huge.
Sunday, but I'm a bit nervous too. I think that USA team is no joke.
They're good. And that's where we go now with our YouTube poll brought to you by DeBoer's Golf Shop and Fitting Center. They have all the new 2026 equipment in their fitting carts ready to go. Beat the spring rush and get fit today in their state-of-the-art TrackMan facility with the best club fitters in Canada. Fitting is always free when you purchase your clubs at DeBoer's. Visit DeBoer'sGolf.com or call the shop to book your fitting. Really good poll here, Steve. What do you got for us, buddy?
Okay, simple one, but an important one. And what we're asking fans to do with this one is vote with your head, not your heart. Okay? So
Okay.
the simple question is, who wins Olympic gold? The 4 options we're giving are Canada in a blowout, Canada the tight one, USA in a blowout, or USA tight one.
Noodles?
Okay, so honestly, coming into the tournament, I have to be honest, I thought the USA team was going to win. I was concerned about the back end of Canada, concerned about the health of some of the players, all of that. But I'm going to say Canada in a close one, and here's why I switched my thought process. The last couple games has been tremendous adversity, and they've found a way to get it done. The first 3 games they just skated through. Struddy, you and I could have found some minutes on the ice, and we wouldn't have been out of place. But like the adversity they went through the last 2 games, I think it showed, especially the Czech game. I don't think they played that well. And you hear, Brad Marchand, you heard some of those guys saying like we were more nervous the Czech game because they didn't really have their A game. Today, I thought they had a lot of their guys had their A game. It's just UC Saros played really well, and Team Finland did a really good job of trying to neutralize them. But they still got outshot 2-1. Like you look at the
Yeah.
ice was tilted the last 30 minutes. Finland was just trying to hang on. So I think it's Canada by a nose, but I'm not as confident as I just feel like it is a little bit with my heart, but I'm trying to be realistic. Canada has shown me the last 2 games that they can handle adversity. And I've said this all along, and I've been wrong 2 years in a row that 97 won't be denied. And I said that in the Stanley Cup Finals. I said he's
Yeah.
a man on a
Yeah.
mission. I feel like he's a man on a mission. I feel like he will be possessed on Sunday.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think it's going to be a tight one. I think that both these teams have so much respect for the firepower on the other team. They're going to really kind of get dialed in and kind of be that closer, a little bit maybe a closer checking, but those elite players will find a way of breaking out. I truly feel that way. So Looking forward to, though. Get some sleep early Saturday night, guys. Okay, before we go to break, let's get to crunching the numbers, brought to you by our buddies at McDonald's. Introduced a new Frank's Red Hot menu. Add a kick to your breakfast with Frank's Red Hot Creamy Garlic Chicken McMuffin. Or spice up your late night craving with McNuggets and Frank's Red Hot Hot Honey Dipping Sauce. Only available for a limited time at participating McDonald's. What you put together here for numbers today, Scuba C? Let's take a look here, buddy.
Okay, so yeah, it's the same thing as yesterday, which is Gregor simply tweeting the time on ice for players on Team Canada today.
So, we kind of went through celebrating McDavid, McKinnon. That's the first grouping, just like we did the other day. Then there's another grouping of guys, kind of that Suzuki, Stone, Marner, Wilson, Marchand, Bennett, Horvat. Then it drops down to Jarvis, Hagel, Reinhardt. Sorry, I meant to say Bennett up higher. Then the D-man, Makar, again, another grouping, Makar, Tays, Harley. And then it drops down to Parayko, Sanheim, Theodore. Noodles, the guy I want to focus on, Drew Doughty, 753.
Yeah.
I thought the first period, the first game, he was moving the puck too quickly. I thought today it looked like his skating wasn't quite up to the speed required. And so I'm wondering how that affects him on Sunday, if he plays, if Morrissey can't go.
You're right. I think in these tournaments you have to realize if a player who is older has his legs that particular, we're going to call it night. I know it's morning games and whatever, but I'm going to say that night because it's night in Italy. John Cooper will monitor that. And I think Drew Doughty has tremendous experience that, you always ask guys, can you turn the clock back for one game? This is a winner takes all. Drew Doughty, regardless of where LA is in the standings, I mean, I think they're only 4 points behind Edmonton, but you lose Fiala. Like I've always looked at LA as kind of either underachieving or it's a weird year for them as well. But Drew Doughty playing 7 minutes, I think John Cooper realized okay, he didn't have it, or he saw something where maybe Doughty's speed or foot speed was being exposed. Sanheim was interesting for me too, Struddy. There wasn't a lot of space out there. And there was a seam play that went to him where he had a clear lane to the net. And he almost skated himself out of position. It was uncomfortable for him because he's not really an offensive-minded guy. And all I could think of, and again, this is the negative part and the analyst part of me, was they need, there's not a lot of ice, not a lot of opportunity offensively against Finland when they were playing tight, is that Schaefer kid would have taken that right to the net. And Sanheim is more of a defense. Yeah. That's all I thought to myself. I'm like, if they lose this game, people will start to criticize and say, why wasn't Bouchard on the team? Why wasn't Schaefer, on the team? Because you're sitting there going, that back end is, you need mobility and you need puck movers, right? Drew Doughty is a puck mover. So I'll come back to Doughty. And he has the ability to control a game from the back end. But, again, Father Time is chasing him. But on one particular night, can you turn the clock back and use, his best attribute is that he's not overwhelmed by any situation ever. He just plays, right? Smile on his face. Apparently in some of the tight games earlier in the tournament, he's joking on the bench and stuff, keeping things light. That's what you need. So I think even though he played 7 minutes, he might play an integral role on Sunday where you need that type of leadership where, keep in mind, if Crosby's not playing, Drew Doughty's the only guy who's won a gold medal on that roster, right? And you need that type of experience. So I look for big things from him, but I did notice that he didn't have much going on today.
Didn't have the legs. Be interested to see what happens. Sidney Crosby, who knows? John Cooper post-game said there's a better chance of him playing that game than there is tonight, or was today. And I get that. But, I think that's John kind of being funny. All right, let's take a pause, Noodles. When we come back, we'll get into takeaways, and we'll hear from some of the members of Team Canada in the digital soundbox. We'll take a quick break. Be with us. Give us a subscribe on the way out. Be right back, everybody.
At Modern Measure, every item of clothing starts from scratch and is designed from the ground up based on both your style preferences and current fashion trends. Their clothing is fully designed to give you the exact look you're looking for, down to the smallest details and customization. The Modern team will work with you to make sure that you not only look and feel great, but make the most of your investment. On the ground floor of Edmonton Tower downtown, Modern Measure. Mainline Water and Sewer specializes in sewer line repair and replacement using advanced trenchless methods for fast, clean results. They provide detailed sewer assessments and scoping to identify problems before they become costly. Serving both residential and commercial properties, no job is too big or too small, and with over 40 years of experience, they've seen it all. Trust Mainline to keep your lines flowing smoothly.
Thanks for sticking with us tonight. Canada wins 3-2. Will take on the Mighty Americans. That's the matchup we all wanted. Let's get to takeaways now, brought to you by Chandos Construction. Chandos is hiring right now across the trades, project management, and estimating. As a 100% employee-owned company, they offer steady work and real opportunities to grow with the team. Check out all the open roles at chandos.com/apply. Okay, Noodles, we'll get into it. They mixed up the lines, but obviously Sidney Crosby out, it was different. And we had talked about this, or people had talked about this line that he puts together, which really kind of became the second line as the game went on. Bennett at center with, what's his name, Marchand and Wilson. Heavy line. I like this line, and I thought, they kind of were able to get onto the Finnish defense and kind of have some cycle time that that the other lines hadn't really had earlier. So your thoughts on this line, and do you expect to see them versus USA and annoying the hell out of that group?
Absolutely. Why I liked it, and I know people would, didn't like the Sam Bennett penalty. And when you play in that gray area, you're going to get one, right? You're going to, but my biggest thing is the threat. Okay. So the threat is guys know when they're on the ice. When Tom Wilson's on the ice, people are aware. Struddy used to say this all the time. Brian Marchment or these players that were, could catch you, right? You had to be aware when they were on the ice because they played for keeps. Sam Bennett plays for keeps. Tom Wilson plays for keeps. And we know Brad Marchand can play any which way you want. I love that line. And I think John Cooper will keep them together because they're a line that can get underneath the skin of an opponent. So match them up against the Tkachuk brothers and see if again, you're not going to fight. I thought about this. I would love for the Olympics to go, okay, you've got USA, Canada. Let's just play by NHL rules instead of IHF, where it's like, okay, if you want to dust up, have at it. You know what I mean? Like, I just wish it went back just for this game, the Four Nations face-off rules. I don't think we'd see a brawl right off the start, but I think you'd see the rivalry right away. But I love that line. I think it created space. And what it did is it did soften up Finland's defense a little bit for the skill guys to jump in there and start to cycle. I will say too, again, I'm not trying to be a negative Nelly, but man, I would have found a spot for Zach Hyman. I'm sorry. Zach Hyman, it would be in these games that are tight when you need an engine to play up and down a lineup, like that would have been my guy. And that's no slight on, Bennett or, Jarvis who was added. It's just, I could have found Hyman some ice time. I really could have. I just the way that he plays, because he's heavy and he wins loose puck battles, and that's what they need. So I'm coming back to, I've got long-winded here, Struddy. That line has to play like Hyman. They have to play heavy. They have to turn pucks over. They have to make it tough. And that's what they were able to do in this game, and they have to carry that on Sunday's game.
Let's go into our digital sound box, brought to you by Weiss Johnson Heating and Air Conditioning. I believe, offering no interest for 24 months to make your purchase easier. Visit wjjingle.com for exclusive specials just for Got Your Back Jingle lovers. Let's hear it. People are jacked.
Weiss Johnson, whoa. We're proud to be local.
All right. I'm loving it. Got a great stream tonight. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. You earned the jingle. Do we have John Cooper on that heavy line? I think, right?
We do. Yeah, here's Cooper talking about the heavy line specifically.
Thoughts on putting that line together? Highly usable. You used them right to the very end there. What worked there?
Everything. I mean, they're intimidating. They can play with pace. I don't think, when a puck's dumped in a corner, I don't think anybody's choosing which one they want to hit them and get in there. And they create space for themselves. And, when they got kind of a shot scramble attitude going on there, they're not afraid to go to the net front. I thought that was something that we could have done better, in front of Saros, because he's such an exceptional goalie. But they did there and took his eyes away and scored. So they earned it. They deserved to play.
What can you tell us right now about the possibility?
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, that's really good. Let's go and hear Tom Wilson, I believe, as well. Just Tom Wilson post-game.
Yeah, some good stuff from Wilson here.
John Cooper tried something. He put you with Sam Bennett and with Brad Marchand. He kind of assembled a line, and you guys were heavily used there towards the end. What were you saying to each other, and what did that mean to you?
Yeah, we didn't have to say much to each other. I think when we got put together, it was predictable. We weren't guessing about what the other guy was going to do. It was to go out there and have controlled chaos and make the lives difficult to the other team and just push them out of the game. And those guys are so fun to play with. I think when we all got selected, we were kind of joking around that it would have been fun to play as a line. So we got a shot out there today, and it was awesome. Obviously, every guy chipped in on that big goal.
Yeah, perfect. There he is. So Tom Wilson, I mean, they're fun together. So let's go through the process, Noodles, of what it might look like for USA versus Canada. Are we going to put it's McKinnon with Celebrini and Connor? Do you think he starts there?
Yeah, I would. I don't think this is a game that you can try and, wade into it. I think you go with your best right from the drop of the puck and adjust after that. So to me, I think you go with those three and you're not messing around. You're sending a message right away, like we're loading up with our heavies right away.
Okay, so we those are the two lines. I'd agree. I'd leave Connor McDavid with those two guys. McKinnon hasn't looked quite like himself, but I mean, he scored a big goal today, and you mentioned maybe gets his confidence there. Then you got the heavy line, and then that leaves Marner with Stone. And who is that center? Is it for sure Suzuki?
Yeah, I think so. I think you can find. I know people want Horvat there. I just think Suzuki's more dynamic. I think Suzuki, as much as I love Bo Horvat, and I think he's versatile, I think Suzuki has he has more skill. I think he's got more. To me, he's Patrice Bergeron. Like he can play in all situations, really smart, strong on his stick. Again, like Horvat might have a little bit more speed straight away, but I think Suzuki is more nifty. And let's not forget, like Mitch Marner with about 4 minutes left had a real nifty play there. Saros made a great right pad save on him. Like Marner has shown some flashes, and Stone is a pain in the ass to play against because he bats pucks down, he goes in, he wins loose puck battles. So for me, Strud, it's Suzuki there. I think that line would have chemistry.
Yeah, and then the rest, I think the minutes might be somewhat limited because I think the top end guys are going to play a ton. You already saw 26 minutes for two of those guys tonight. That doesn't leave a lot at the bottom of the roster when forwards are playing 26 minutes. I mean, you got 26, the next group's maybe 15. What is that? That's 31, 41. That doesn't give much time for everybody else. Okay, I want to get into core adjustments here, buddy, brought to you by HSC Core Services. From creating and managing safety programs to audits and those required contractor registries, HSC Core keeps your business compliant so you can keep working. Sign up for health and safety program management services and receive your first month free. Visit www.hsccore.com. That's hsccor.com for more info. Ryan Rishaug tweeted out just a little time ago, or I guess after the game, that Team Canada's practicing tomorrow, but it's going to be closed. He speculated that it could mean perhaps that Sidney Crosby is going to try to skate, and they don't want the media seeing it. It's the third time they have had a closed practice. They said they want to do it again. They're doing it again tomorrow. So I don't know if he's right or wrong, but what do you think it takes? What percentage does Crosby have to be to, out of 100% with his, I'm guessing it's his knee, to play tomorrow, or sorry, Sunday, I guess.
50%. I think
50.
Honest to God, I think you need him in the lineup, Struddy. You need him in the room. You heard Tom Wilson after the game saying, we didn't want to disappoint Sydney. Like, they all look up to him, and rightfully so. He's a Mount Rushmore player. I think he's going to do everything he can to be in the lineup, and I'll take 50% of Sidney Crosby, even if he plays 7 or 8 minutes, but he's on the bench. He's in the process. He's in warm-up. It's an emotional boost, and I think they need it. Like, they need it. This is a tough opponent, and, you're a weaker team without Sidney Crosby. But, again, this is and mark my words here. I'll take 50% over Sidney Crosby over 7 minutes of Seth Jarvis. And that's no slight. It's no slight on Seth Jarvis.
Yeah.
I love the guy, and I think he's a hell of a player, and he deserves to be there. But I think in this situation, when you just read off the ice time for some of the guys, right? Could Sidney Crosby on one knee play 7 minutes, but be, you heard when he got hurt, he spoke in between the second and third for that group. Right? Like, that's that type of stuff. The slight intangibles might be the difference in winning and losing in a tightly contested game. We talked about it before. If he's not in the lineup, the only other guy is Drew Doughty that's been in that situation. So I want him in the room. I want him around the guys. I want him influential. So for me, it's 50. It might even be less than 50%, but I'm saying 50 just as a coin flip. Like, that's why I want him there, because knowing him, he'll play 7 minutes and score a massive goal or do something, have a massive play that affects the outcome of the game.
Yeah, he'll play 7 minutes, win 5 faceoffs, and kill a penalty that needs to be killed. Like, he'll just do whatever you need.
Yeah,
it's funny. This is not really on topic, but I was thinking about it when I was driving home, is that I bet the coaching staff went through, what if we lose player X? What do the lines look like? If we lose player Y, what do the lines look like? Like, I think they had those. You got to have those things, because it can't just be all of a sudden, hey, we lost player X, we got to figure this out. I think they've gone through that in their heads prior to it.
Yep.
And that's kind of what led to that heavy line. That's what had McKinnon moving up, all that stuff. So pretty interesting. Noodles, appreciate this, buddy. I know that you obviously have a very itchy back, scratching your back like it was like you're a bear.
What is wrong with
during running season?
My back scratcher is always close by. Like, I hang out and
that.
You've never seen a back scratcher?
Well, not in the middle of an elite podcast.
This is your pattern, Struddy. This is your pattern.
Like, what's next? You clipping your toenails on Sunday night?
You're lucky I'm wearing pants tonight.
All right, buddy. I appreciate it. You're the best. Thanks for staying up, buddy. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks for having me, guys. We'll chat later.
Here he is. The one and only Jamie McLennan. I'll have more on that back scratcher later on Brownie Points. Unbelievable. Okay, Scuba, we got through a lot of content there. There was so much to talk about. Did I miss anything? Because when we take a break and come back, we'll get a little bit more with the take a lap with the guys. But did I miss? I feel like we covered a lot. My page is full of notes here.
We covered a lot. We still have some post game audio to get to if we want it, and we haven't even touched on the fact that McDavid's now broken an NHL record for most points in Olympics with NHL players. So just unbelievable. I mean, he's on fire. I love it.
Well, let's just touch on here. So Connor McDavid breaks a record for the most points by NHL player, right? Because there's other Olympics where people got more. But it's incredible what he's accomplished here. Yeah, I think he's had 2 or more points in every game, has he not?
Yeah, he was at point per period, so he's just under a point per period now. So yeah, I think he's at 11 points, if that's right. I mean, and I think yeah, go ahead.
It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible what he's accomplished, man. Like, it is insane what he's done. Still game for the big guy. So yeah, pretty incredible. And just a fun game to watch. I can't wait for that game Sunday morning. It's early morning. Who cares? Because what time is it for you out there? 5:40?
5 a.m. And so I've already set my alarm for Sunday for
I guess you get busy
for 4:55. I'm so pumped. Both my kids have already said, you're waking me up at 5 o'clock, just so you know. And no problem getting up for that one. We get up for morning hockey earlier than that. We're good.
Oh yeah, it's nothing. That's minor. Okay, let's take a pause here. When we come back, we'll get into Struddy's World and Brownie Points. They're going to be fun. I'm not going to lie. It was going to be fun. But what I think we might do, just to kind of stay on this train of talking about Canada and the U.S. and what's going on, we'll get Mark Masters and Schauger right when we come back, so you guys can kind of keep on that thread. Then we'll kind of lighten a little bit up as we get further on the show. So take a pause, come back, we'll get into all that. Stay with us, everybody.
For over 60 years, Belvedere Golf and Country Club has delivered a high-quality membership experience to Edmonton and area. And now it's even better. Drainage and irrigation improvements in 2024 have taken course conditions to a new level. This commitment to long-term sustainability means exceptional playing conditions all season long. Belvedere's tee sheet availability is unmatched, so join now and experience golf the way it was meant to be played, on your schedule. Visit BelvedereGCC.com today.
Riverside Motorsports is your ultimate multi-brand dealer. With a massive lineup of motorcycles, ATVs, side-by-sides, snow bikes, e-bikes, and snowmobiles, all under one roof. With Alberta's best selection, a huge parts and accessories inventory, and a fully certified service department, Riverside has everything you need to ride. Family owned and serving Edmonton for over 55 years, see what they have to offer in-store just off St. Albert Trail or online at riversidemotorsports.com.
Oh man, I love that music. All the info you need, tsn.ca. That's where you can find it for Schauger and Masters. And that's where we're going to go next on Taking a Lap, brought to you by Riverside Motorsports, family owned and operated, serving Edmonton area for over 55 years. Featuring top brands and delivering the best selection in Alberta, a massive inventory of parts and accessories, and recognized as the #1 KTM dealership in the country. Check them out at www.riversidemotorsports.com. Again, Mark Masters, Ryan Rashog for the second last time. Let's hear them talking about the game.
Here we go.
All right, Mark, it's the matchup that everybody wanted. Canada, U.S. in the gold medal game. I'm sure Struds and company have broken the game down and broken the matchup down a bunch. You and I had the unique experience of being in the mix zone and talking with some U.S. players about the matchup. What I sensed from them was they feel their game's peaking at the perfect time. They're very confident with where they're at. And they were not poking the bear. There weren't any shots fired at all post-game.
No, I mean, there's mutual respect, and really, they lost the Four Nations final, right? So, Quinn Hughes is talking about how, we want to beat the best to be the best, and this is the perfect way it should be, right? Brady Tkachuk said you couldn't script it any better. So, yeah, I mean, I think, how can you not love this, right? Like, this is how this was supposed to be. This is what everyone wanted, other than the other countries in the tournament. It feels like, right? Like Canada, the United States, best on best for the gold medal. We've waited a long time to see it. This is the way it was supposed to be. I'm just excited. I want it to be Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, I agree. It's going to be fun. I feel like the U.S. players that we talked to, I feel like they wanted this too, especially after losing to Canada at the Four Nations. Like Dylan Larkin kind of said, it just wouldn't be right if it wasn't this way. Charlie McAvoy saying, it feels like we've been on a collision course. And then for the guys that were part of that loss, that stung. Like Brady Tkachuk said, after I asked him how the Four Nations loss maybe fuels them now, and he said, I don't ever want to feel that way again. Those guys have that taste pretty fresh in their mouths, and I do think that's advantage for them coming in. I don't know that there's a psychological advantage for Canada having won the Four Nations. I think the feeling the U.S. had is probably stronger coming out of that tournament defeat.
Yeah, I think they're certainly fired up. I mean, remember the commercial, John Hamm? What did they come here for? Canadian tears, not a gold medal. They wanted, that's not the players. Obviously, they didn't script it, but that's kind of the thesis statement for the American fan base coming in here is they wanted to beat Canada. So, yeah, they're fired up. But you know what? Yeah, Canada's pretty fired up too, and I feel like they kind of got this aura around them, like they're going to do it, right? Like they've had these near-death experiences, close games in the quarters and the semis. Americans have really only had that one close game in the quarterfinal, and that was it felt like their real true test of the tournament. The other favorite that they faced, Sweden, and obviously it wasn't a great tournament for the Swedes, and they pushed them really hard. It went to overtime. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if there's an advantage here. Like, I don't know how you install anyone as a favorite. I think obviously Canada's banged up. That probably is problematic for them. We don't know if Crosby's going to play. Josh Morrissey's been out since the first game. Nathan McKinnon isn't himself, although he still is finding a way to come through with a big goal in this semifinal. But I don't know. It's pretty.
I think you're hitting the nail on the head there, though, with the injuries, because these are not bit players that we're discussing when it comes to Canada's injuries. And Tage Thompson left the game, the U.S. game, for precautionary reasons. We'll see what his availability is. Obviously, he's a good player, an important player for them, but you've got McDavid and you got Celebrini, and they're clicking. Nathan McKinnon is so diminished right now. Like, we have seen this player play so many nights. He is a workhorse and a powerhouse, and he has not been so far. Then you've got Sidney Crosby. If they can patch him up and he can actually get in and play, how much is he going to be able to give them? So that's two of your three centers, and again, McKinnon will probably play the wing, that are beat up, and then a guy that you want to essentially be on your second pair in Morrissey. So there's some serious diminished performance risk in these players coming back.
100%, but you know what they got now? A new line, right?
Oh,
Sam Bennett, Brad Marchand, Tom Wilson, and that's a line that should love playing against the U.S. This should be their game, right? And so, John Cooper said he was surprised he didn't go to it sooner. He went to it. It came through. It generated the tying goal. So they found something there that should maybe create a little bit more depth in their lineup. But you're right. These injuries are a big concern, and that's why they're struggling to put away Czechia and Finland in these quarters and the semis. But, we talk about the U.S. being motivated. Canada's also kind of got, as John Cooper would put it, the gamers in the lineup, guys who just know how to win. We don't know if Crosby's going to play, but he's around the team. He's in the intermissions. He's talking to them. He's almost like a coach right now. So, they have that going for them as well, and that maybe helps overcome some of these injury issues.
Going to be a lot of fun, Mark. Thanks for doing this, buddy. Struds, it's going to be fun, pal. Canada, U.S. gold medal. Can't wait.
Yeah, no one can wait. We're all going to sleepless night Saturday night, and it's the matchup we want. So let's go back into the digital sound box from Weiss Johnson and listen to their captain, Austin Matthews. Hit it.
All right.
Are you glad that it's Canada-U.S. in the final? You get a chance to take them on?
I mean, it's an amazing opportunity. Obviously, with last year's Four Nations, the two times we played them, extremely tight games, competitive games. I think these two countries, have shown that they're at the top of the hockey world. So, it's an opportunity to, see what's what on Sunday, and we're looking forward to that challenge.
How would you describe what it's taken to get to this gold medal game?
It's been hard. It's been hard. It's, you got to come together and.
Oh, sorry, that's all I got.
Yeah, it's this is what we want. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Steve. What do you got?
No, that's it. I was just going to say we've also got McDavid post game if we want it, but
sure. Let's hear it. Let's hear it, then we'll wrap her up.
Okay.
Putting our country through it. A lot of stressful mornings for everyone back home, but you know what? It's been fun. It's best on best tournament. I keep on saying that. We're playing the best teams in the world, the best players in the world, and they're going at it and giving everything they have. And the margins are razor thin, and you've seen that all the way through.
I know how much of a role Crosby played in your childhood. What did it mean to you to borrow the captaincy here today?
Yeah, hopefully just borrowed. Keeping the seat warm for him. It's a special thing to represent your country, and to wear the seat for a group like this, it means everything to me.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about that. Connor McDavid had the captaincy on. There was so much to break down. So listen, that's the detail that slipped. He is, and that was a great comment. I'm just holding it for now, or boarding it, whatever. It'll go back on Sidney Crosby. Make no mistake about it. It's going back on him for sure when that's done. Okay. Yeah, just crazy. So much to get into. So I think we covered it pretty well. Let's get into brownie points here. Talk a little Olympics, brought to you by Alberta Ram Dealers. You want to hit the tunes? There it is. The 4x4 winter event continues at your Alberta Ram dealer. Get a 2026 Ram 1500 Black Express starting from $56,995. See a Ram dealer today. The Olympics is coming to an end. It's so much fun. I'm going to give out 10 brownie points to our 2 Canadian curling teams. 10 each. Actually, that's quite a bit on brownies. Homan is going to play in the bronze against there after losing to Sweden today, a tight battle. They lost 6-3 in the semifinals. And then Jacobs and his group will play Great Britain for gold in Milano. So 10 points for each of them, which is pretty awesome. The short track speed skaters have been pretty awesome. Valerie Malte, she won her bronze medal in the 1,500 meter long track. That was her third of it, which is incredible, Steve, when you think about 3 medals for one person. It's just absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, she's a pleasure to watch. That was such a fun race too. Her face after that race said it all.
Yeah, she's absolutely amazing. And then a little bit on the lighter side, I'm going to put, what do I got here? I'm going to get 0 points for Noodles for using his back scratcher mid-show. I mean, what is the policy we have on that? Is that allowed to have back scratching on there at all?
Oh, it's funny. Like once was okay. I was like, okay, something's going on. And then it just continued. And I asked him in the break if he had bed bugs when he was in Vancouver. He said, no, I didn't. I'm just wearing a itchy shirt. But yeah, just to have it close by and to have the confidence to be constantly scratching your back on camera is admirable.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, buddy, like enough. I got it. Okay, the next one will be 21 points for Teemu Selanne. Finnish hockey, great. Maybe you can throw this tweet up there, Scuba Steve.
There we go.
So 21 points is 8 from 13 is 2 numbers. I get it. But this Hockey Hall of Famer tweeted this out right after the game. Look at that, 2.3 million views. Beating the greatest hockey country in the world and Canadian referees same night is impossible, I guess. Absolutely embarrassing penalty 90 seconds ago in the Olympic semifinal. What a joke. Obviously, Teemu was not happy, and I get it. I'd be feeling the same way if I was there, but I love that he put it out there. And the views on this thing are absolutely insane, Scuba Steve.
Yeah, it was. I mean, the McKinnon embellishment to me was a funny one, just because of where the camera was, the angle at that time. You could watch it happen in real time. He took the stick. You could tell the official had no idea, and then he did the dramatic thing, and then he goes, "Oh," and puts his hand up. So it was an obvious one, but he had to sell that he was hit in the face. He was legitimately hit in the face. I'm okay with it.
Yeah, it was a penalty. There's no doubt about it. And lastly, 1,000 points for the people on the flight home. I was coming from, I was up in Yellowknife, helping out the owners doing a camp for kids up there. And 1,000 points because the people around me allowed me to have a sleep for about 20 minutes. There were long days coaching. We did say 8 sessions a day. It was a lot of fun, but I was bagged. I got in there, they fed me, and then they just tucked me in like a little baby, and I slept for 20 minutes. I feel like $1 million. I might be hitting White Ave after this, buddy. It's only 10:15. I might be running down there. So that feeling of sleeping on the plane is unbelievable.
Yeah, I can't say that a 20-minute power nap on a flight would rejuvenate me after being on the ice that much. And kudos to you, man. That's hard to have that noise and to have to organize things and be on the, just to be on the ice that long is that takes a lot out of you. So kudos to you. And I mean, yeah, 20 minutes is enough.
Thanks. It was a lot of fun. I love being out there with the kids, but it was a long, long day.
Sure.
But too, it was good. It was a lot of fun. So there you go. There's brownie points, everybody. If you have any you want to throw into the chat, let us know. We got a great stream tonight. We love hearing from you. Toss it in there. Before we take a quick break, let's get to the scoreboard. Brought to you by The Bridge Fit. I think I need a visit. Been on the ice a lot. Rehabilitation at The Bridge offers a comprehensive approach that extends beyond temporary pain relief and focuses on developing long-term strength and resilience to support an active lifestyle. The Bridge provides accessible, team-based care across Alberta. Learn more at thebridge.fit. As usual, we'll look at the medal standings. We're running out of time here, everybody, but let's get to it. Still leading the way, Norway, 17 goals, total of 37 medals. They're absolutely on fire. For a little country, they are really punching well above their weight. Second is USA, 10 golds. That's good for second with 29 total medals. We slipped down to Canada, 4 golds, 17 total medals. Now, we got the silver yesterday for the ladies. By the way, congratulations to the ladies. They battled like crazy. I was heartbroken for them watching that game in action. And then Canada, we got 17 total medals. So we're going to get another one for sure. 2, I should say. Well, actually 3 possibly. We could get one in curling, ladies curling, a bronze, gold or silver for the men's curling, and then a gold or silver for the guys. So I'll add their total. So we're going to probably end up north of 20 total medals, Steve, which I think, all things considered, hello.
Yep, absolutely not bad. Obviously, some of the events we could do better in with more youth and funding participating in them. But I think that, I'm really, really proud of our athletes. And not only, while they're competing, but every single interview, the way they compose themselves on social media. It's a time to be really proud of our country. And I certainly am. They're all making me proud.
100%. It's so much fun to watch. My God, is it fun to watch. I just love seeing it. Okay, everybody, let's take a quick pause when we come back. Struddy's World, Ask Us Anything, Play of the Day, and we're out of here. We'll be right back, everyone.
Getting the McDonald's you love for just $5 plus tax every day? That's not just value. That's McValue. Get $5 McValue meals every day.
Why would you? Nobody puts in wood windows or siding anymore, so why put in wood fences? Maintenance-free vinyl fence from DLR is backed by a lifetime warranty and will save you time. Weekends are for playing, not painting. Go vinyl at dlrvinylproducts.ca.
So at Timberhouse, our guiding philosophy is naturally inspired living. We believe that through design, we can solve problems and enhance people's lives. We follow biophilic design principles in all of our builds to incorporate natural materials, natural light, to enhance all the spaces in a home. When you have your space perfectly reflect who you are and what you value, and it's made well, we think that that just leads to better living.
When you make a mistake, heads should roll. It's not right. And I'm here. Someone has to put their foot down. Now that I say it out loud, it does sound a little crazy.
God, I look good.
Gather around the campfire. Time for Strudwick World, brought to you by my good buddy, Batty Realty at Royal LePage, our team realty. Buying a home is a major decision, and the team at Batty Realty will guide you through the complex process with expertise and care, providing unwavering support even after the keys are handed over. Visit BattyRealty.com. That's BHATTI Realty.com. You can also go ask him about his arm workout program. He loves working out on the preacher curl. He works it. I've seen him working it a lot, him and his buddy Troy. Okay, I was a virgin up till 2 nights ago when I arrived in Yellowhead as far as plugging in my car. I never plugged a car in my life.
Yellowknife.
Or what did I say?
The Yellowhead.
Oh, the Yellowhead. Sorry, yeah, the Yellowhead. Well, maybe there's a Yellowhead up there, but it was a yellow knife. I'd never plugged a car in before that time. Never one time in my life. I didn't even know, I knew what it existed and all that, But I arrived there. Someone gave me the car. They said, Jason, at night, you're going to have to plug this bad boy in a minute. I'd love to. I've never done that. 50 years old, I never plugged a car and get that off the bucket list. So I plugged it in. And everything worked fine. Obviously there was plugins all over the place. It was minus 42 up there. They said it was the coldest day of the year when I was up there. My first day, it was, what day was that? I don't even know, Wednesday maybe. And it was cold, guys. It was really cold. Today I flew home, and when I arrived at home, my car said it was minus 18. But as I walked from the airport to my car, I didn't even have my jacket done up. Honestly, it felt like summer. Going from minus 42 to minus 18 in just a couple days, that's a massive swing, 24-degree swing. And honestly, I had my jacket, I didn't even done up. People were looking at me like, this guy's crazy. I'm like, buddy, I just came from minus 42. I'd experienced that. That's cold. Minus 18, not that bad. So first time for everything, plugging the car in. And it's funny when you swing 24 degrees warmer, even though you're still cold, Steve, it's really nice. It's a really nice change.
I cannot imagine. I was telling people today that it was minus 41 for you in Yellowknife, and they couldn't believe it. There's a neighborhood restaurant by my house, and my daughter and I walked there for dinner tonight. And I got there, and I said, "Oh man, I can't believe I wasn't wearing a toque. My ears are cold." And I said, "That was so cold." I looked at the temperature; it was minus 8. And that's how soft we've become in Kelowna. It's like that's the coldest we go. Like we're freezing, so I can't even imagine.
Here, I got to get this from Johnny Gillis. Strudsy, not everyone in Edmonton can afford a BMW, fella. Most people plug in here. Laugh aloud. Listen, I get it. I understand what you're saying, and I don't drive a Beamer, but just as a thought, there's a reason for it, right? So whenever you think about when I got a car, I moved away to Kamloops. And then I'd come back. So I wasn't here during the winters. And then I'd come back and it'd be summer. So obviously I wasn't plugging in. And then I went to play pro. I was always gone in the winter. So for years, I was literally gone when most people were plugging their car in. I was gone. I was gone to another country where it was warmish. Vancouver, Chicago, none of those places. No one even knows what the hell they're doing. Plug your car in. And then I come back here when I'm at the end of my career in Edmonton. And I have a garage. So I was parking in the garage. So it's warm enough in there. I didn't have to, it's not heated, but it was warm enough. I didn't have to plug it in. Same thing when I moved to another house. So I'm not bragging here. I'm not telling everyone, look how cool I am because I never plugged. I was never around to plug my car in. When you're 18, I can tell you when my kids turn 18, they're not parking inside the garage. They'll be plugging it in outside. So just to be clear, it's not like I'm trying to tell you guys how rich and famous I am. What it is, it's just that I wasn't around to do it.
Yeah, that's interesting. I remember being in Edmonton and absolutely having to plug my car in or else it wasn't starting. But that's because I was parked on the street or parked in the driveway. And so I get it. I also remember when we'd come off the plane, Struds, and the cars would all be running for you. So it would be minus 20 or whatever in Edmonton, and the crew would have all the cars started. That was the best.
Oh, wow. That's beautiful. That was nice. That was really nice. Got this one coming in from, I think it's Josh Gillish. No, what does he say here? Hold on. Oh, John Taylor. Sorry. Good job plugging in. Did you remember to unplug it before you drove away? Oh, yeah. I was I was there for 2 nights. I don't want to make it sound like I was there for a year. But I was diligent because I'd start my car before I'd actually have to come down, start it, go back to my room, and then I'd let it heat up. Then I'd go back out. I'd unplug it before getting in the car, place the cord in the back, and I drove my friend Izzy. She and I would drive around. I was so worried of driving with that plug in the car, and I know it wouldn't probably destroy it, but I was really worried about it. So yes, good question. I was worried about that one.
We have Anxious Donaire saying that he worked up in Nunavut and has experienced minus 52 to minus 58. Unbelievable. Oilers diehard says minus 55 is the coldest I've worked in without the wind chill. That was a rough night of drilling. Holy crap.
I can't imagine. Well, someone told me that it was nearly minus 50, the wind chill when I was there. I can't confirm that. I can only confirm the minus 42. That's what I can confirm. That's a PB, I believe, for me, as far as cold, without the wind chill. But yeah, coming back here, honestly, I was like, why do I even need this jacket? I should be sun tanning right now. But I did. I saw a guy walking a Yellowknife, with shorts on. Now, I don't know how far he's walking, but it was deep minus 30s. So if he's walking 200 feet, that's a man. Like that guy, I should have pulled over, but it was too cold. I would have said, buddy, you're the first real man I've ever seen in my life because everyone else is second place. That's how it works.
I wonder if high school kids wear, middle school kids wear jackets when it's minus 40.
But there was a lot of jackets. I saw a lot of like seal skin gloves and stuff like that, and beaver gloves. And I tried some on. They're warm. They're really, really nice. Didn't get any. Probably should have. Maybe next time. All right, let's get to Ask Us Anything now, brought to you by Bernie's Electric Supply. To celebrate their 50th anniversary, BJ Electric is now operating as Bernie's Electric Supply. This name change is a tribute to their founder, Bernie Joseph Thompson. Their ownership structure, people, and commitment remain the same, and they continue to be your supplier for all things electrical. Visit www.bernieselectric.ca. If you've been around for 50 years, you know a thing or two about the electricity. What are the people asking here tonight?
Okay, first of all, just a hello to Beck Byrne, who says, longtime listener, but never gets to watch the stream because of time zones. He's an Aussie. Struddy, this is an invitation for you to communicate in his native language if you'd like. First time actually on the stream, awake at 2 a.m. watching Olympics this morning. Felt way too much like an Oilers game. So welcome back. We love the international viewers. So Ronnie Oceanfront coming in and saying he loves the 6 a.m. game start. He can now have his usual Sunday morning beers without judgment. And I know, the premier today in Alberta said that bars will be open 6 a.m. and legally able to serve alcohol. Is that something you'd ever be interested in partaking in at that hour, Struds?
It's pretty early. Yeah, I guess like I'm not against it. I've never been in that position, so I can't say. I don't think I've ever had a beer at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
Like I've never stayed up all night and been drinking still at 6 a.m.
Right.
But for this, might I do it? I guess it'd be a first. I guess you get there, you kind of got to do it, don't you?
Yeah, maybe a Radler or a beer and clam or something like that. I don't know.
But can you imagine you leave there and you're just buzzing and the game's over at like 9 o'clock and you're busted already? Like that's a long day. You could literally go to sleep, wake up, be sober, and do it all over again. And it's not even supper time yet. You've been drunk twice.
Yeah.
Like that's incredible.
Terrible. Yeah. Yeah. No, thank you. Queen Bee, Amy, question for Noodles, but we'll send it to you, Struddy. Wasn't Soros amazing?
Sure.
Just a comment on how good he was today.
He was really good. And that, I mean, they're going to get good goaltending against the Americans as well. That's 2 good games now they've had good goalies against them. I like the training. I like that, having to work for the best shot and making things happen. And when you look at the goals, they weren't all exactly beauties, although I guess you could say McKinnon's was. The tip was really nice, but it wasn't like a breakaway move. So, yes, UC Soros is a good goalie. And he played well. So did Dostal. So here we go. We move up and you get the next good goalie got to beat on Sunday.
Yeah. I'm going to ask a question myself, and I seldom ever do this because people really give it to me on the stream when I do. But I'm curious from your perspective, Struddy, that the Aho chance at the very end of the game when he was streaming down on the wing was do you know the play I'm talking about, and whose fault defensively was that opportunity?
Are you talking about, was it Aho at the very end where he ran into the goalie?
No, where he drove wide. I think that was him, wasn't it? And got the shot off. And Binnington actually had to make that save with like half a second left in the game.
Oh, then he tried to spit it out again.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. You know what? I can't tell you exactly in the moment who it was the problem, but you have to know what they're trying to do, right? In that moment. Like, so the thing I thought, and this is probably not the question you're asking, the puck was going wide. You have to have a number in your head of like a clock, what's ticking down. I actually think Binnington, it was going wide. Just let it go behind the net. Why even stop it? In your head, you should know it's like 5, 4, 3, and you just let it go behind it, and it's over. Because with 1.3 seconds, I think they put back up on the clock.
Yeah,
pretty hard. In the face-off, they won. It didn't matter. But so A, you have to know they're trying to get the puck to the net, and B, if it's going wide, let it go wide. You need to know those moments in your head, because if he hangs on to it, let's say there's 5 seconds left. 5 seconds are time to score. 1.3, pretty tough.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's just wrap up the poll quickly here, and then I'll bring in some other predictions from the stream. So again, the question, who wins Olympic gold? Coming in by far the winner. People obviously voting with their heart a little bit and their heads. They said Canada in a tight one. So that one is at 77%. So the vast majority, or 78 now, the vast majority of people thinking Canada will win a tight one. Next is Canada with a blowout. 10% say that, but only 10%. 9% say USA with a tight one, and then USA blowout, only 4%. So I think people are, I'll use this term again, cautiously optimistic for tomorrow's game, Struds. We have, sorry, go ahead.
Well said. No, well said.
Yeah, we have Zed Mo saying 4-3 Canada. We have Michael Bear saying 4-3 USA. We have Mr. Worker saying 5-1 USA. Avi Hoffman, big longtime Oilers fan, stream participant. Love having him here. Big USA guy. He's American, and he's been the whole show talking about how the USA are going to just dominate Canada.
Yeah.
He said Canada hasn't faced an offense like USA with shot attempts. The Cold Train, I like this one. He says Canada in 7. God, how much would you love a 7-game series with these two teams? Could you imagine how fun that would be?
I'd love to see it. I'd love to see it. And just his point, Avi Hoffman. Yeah, they've got good forwards. There's no doubt about it. It's their D to me that might be the great divide. Like, they can skate so well. They all know Connor McDavid really well. They know McKinnon, Celebrini, they know him well enough. Like, that's going to be the interesting piece, that I think, can Canada create enough offense with their speed? Are they going to be allowed to do that against this defense for the Americans? It's a good D. And I know people are hot and horny about the forwards. I'm all about the D back there. And Jacob Slavin, pretty good player.
And Ben Brown, I don't know.
Brown?
I don't know if this is the Ben Brown or not.
Are there more than one?
It's got to be a relatively common name, but if it's the Ben Brown, I love it, which would be Rob Brown's son, who I'm a big fan of and saw live. But anyway, he said Canada's going to win with a 2-0 with a late goal by Cale Makar to win it. Bookmark this. Ben, we will absolutely bookmark that and hope that you're right. A few people coming in the stream, Struddy, and just talking about personnel, player changes that they wish would have happened, and a lot of support for Bouchard. And my name is Jeff, saying at this point, this team could use Bouchard so hard instead of Parayko. What do you think about that at this point in the tournament? I know hindsight's 20/20, but let's just have some fun with it.
So the fact that Josh Morrissey out, that really kind of hamstrings this group, because I think their top 4 would be a lot stronger with Josh Morrissey in there. Like, he's a very good D-man. I know people don't really view him as that elite D, but I think he's right up there. Bouchard, so where's he? I guess he's going to play above Doughty. I'm thinking people are probably thinking, is he playing above Parayko? The problem is he and Parayko are 2 different players.
Yeah, I know.
Right? They're not the same. So if you're cashing one in for him, you have to cash out almost Makar, which you're never going to do. So I think it would have to be for Drew Doughty you're putting him in there. But Noodles made a really good point about Matthew Schaefer. I think there was a mistake made there. And I said I didn't think he should come. So, I'm not going to say that I was the genius that said he should be there. I said he shouldn't be there. And so now I think that you're seeing it. I think it was a mistake that he wasn't brought because of how quickly Celebrini has figured this out on the fly.
Yeah, I know. It's impressive. It's amazing. And again, the Oilers fan in me, happy to see the Oilers resting as much as possible right now. Also, just a quick apology to Beck Byrne from Australia for gender assuming. I thought Beck, when I saw Beck, I thought it was a male. It's a female, so I said he instead of she.
I love it.
But Beck, thank you for staying up this ungodly hour and to watch this. Lastly, Davin just asking, I know you touched on it quickly, but how was the hockey clinic in Yellowknife? How did the clinic go, and how did that come about, Struddy?
Yeah, it was really good. Yeah, so the owners will go and they'll visit different communities and do clinics. They've been, I think, to Jasper recently. I want to say Cold Lake, and this one they took up to Yellowknife, their first time up there. But as myself, Andrew Ferentz was up there as well, and we ran some clinics. Of just like each player got 4 sessions on the ice. We had some breaks, obviously, to watch games and things like that, which was really cool because everyone wanted to watch the Canada game, so we all did. But yeah, it was a lot of fun and a great time. So yeah, a lot of ice times. Good to catch up with Ferentz, some other friends. So yeah, and I've got quite a few friends up in Yellowknife, which is kind of a cool thing.
Awesome. Yeah, great guys. Bucky and Ferentz are.
Oh, Bucky was there too. Yeah, right. He was just there the first night. He can't go on the ice.
Okay.
Too slow skater. All right, that was Ask Us Anything. Time for Play of the Day, brought to you by Modern Measure. Graduation and wedding seasons are officially here, and Modern Measure offers fantastic promotions to not only help make your big day a special one, but also help your wallet. Design your custom made-to-measure suit and customize it just for you. Visit mdrnmeasure.com. Got to go with it. The game-winning goal, a one-timer pass from Connor McDavid, finds the smallest piece of daylight to scoot that puck through past UC Soros, who is having a good game, gets Canada to the gold medal. And that means they're taking on Werenski, Brock Faber, Quinn Hughes. Who am I missing? Jackson Lacomb's not playing. Jake Sanderson back there.
Yeah. I don't.
Slavin.
I'm still coming down from this morning. I when that game ended, I felt like I had just come back from it was just, I needed some electrolytes and some calories, and I just had to sit for a few minutes. That was so intense and so much fun in hindsight.
It was so much fun. And just so you know, this leading D-man was Quinn Hughes for the Americans.
Yeah.
Second, Brock Faber.
Yeah.
So, wait, those guys play together. Oh, yeah. Just like Taze and Makar. All right, buddy. That's it for us tonight. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We really appreciate it. We have one more Olympic podcast, Sunday night, 9 o'clock. Is Shaw going to be there? He'll be there in spirit. Brownie, we think, maybe Jamie McLennan, Scuba Steve.
Yep.
And then we get back to our regular programming. I believe it's next week with Oilers content. So everyone, let's do it. Let's get this game done. We'll talk to you Sunday night as we celebrate what I think will be a victory. Ooh. Thanks to Scuba Steve, Noodles, Shogger Masters, and all of you for tuning in, all of our sponsors for making it special. Any final words on the way out the door?
Set those alarms, wake up your families. Don't miss a minute of this unbelievable game with these unreal players that we won't get to watch play together for a long time. Enjoy.
Talk to you guys later. Thanks for tuning in. We'll talk to you Sunday night. Enjoy the game, everybody. Rest up.